Alright guys, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Beastmen led by Zatern facing off against the Bretonnians, who are going to be led by Pope Patty here on the, I think, Creeping Swamp or Decrepit Moor, one of those creepy maps. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and break down the army. So the Beastmen doing a classic mass Vanguard objective push, in which pretty much everything has Vanguard and anti-large. So we have the Korngors and the Ungors, and then Ungor Raiders in the back to deal with, small threats and put some big pressure on maybe an SE that gets stuck or something like that. With the Koroks Manderpers in the back, the Bestigor Herd, Halberd ROR. You gotta love it. Malagor the Dark Pimp is here, and he's going to be flying around with Flock of Doom and Pendulum. Both are good spells. Flock of Doom is good against Bretonnia, as is Pendulum. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So just a wide Beastmen army, going to be looking to swarm and press all the points. For the Bretonnians, we do have Battle Pilgrims, an excellent choice. Battle Pilgrims will trade very well into Korngors. Korngors' low melee defense does not love being battered by 47 melee attack on these guys. Well, it's a little bit lower, but the Relic is buffing them, of course, so like low 40s, but still very good. Peasant mobs, Foot Squires in the back as well, and it is going to be Alberic, who of course can imbue anti-large. Making a Foot Squire anti-large is pretty damn heavy metal. And yeah, that's it. It's a very, very meta Bretonnian army. Basically just a whole bunch of infantry, and then it's going to be mass cav for the rest of the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, out of the gates, the two objectives here are going to be going to the forces of the Bray Herd, while the Flock of Doom caster are going to be lurking around looking for Flock of Doom targets. And there are some good ones. Hitting the double archer and a Battle Pilgrim, for example, or two archers and a Foot Squire would be incredibly cost effective, and I would imagine that he's going to be trying to do that here in uno momento. Alberic is going to be scouting, flying in. It's often a good idea to go see if your opponent has Ungor Raiders. Beastmen do have snares via the Eye of Moorsleep, but generally speaking, you're somewhat safe to fly over their army as long as they only have Raiders and you're not being hunted by Centaurs with throwing axes. And here we get the Knights Errant being called in, and Bretonnia is going to need to surge forth. Getting an Alberic Trident here wouldn't be bad on both these infantry units. You could probably insta-break them, but it looks like the Bray Herd is going to be advancing up and getting ready to do a push. They're not content to sit back. First Pendulum activated from Malagor, pretty good. Maybe better than a Flock of Doom, although an overcasted Flock right there would have hit a lot and maybe would have squeezed out a little bit more value, but still very good. Now, this is the reason why we're casting this replay. I was sent and told that a PREYTON was being used, and here we are. I mean, look, it is an anti-large monster, okay? In theory, if it could attack some of the Bretonnian Knights and or characters, it can do some damage. I mean, it has high stats, 60 melee attack, as well as over 500 weapon strength, so big anti-large bonus too. I mean, hey, maybe it'll do something. So the Bray Herd opting to get aggressive here. They are going to be going full Unga Bunga, looking to press into the Bretonnian army. And the Gore Herds obviously will cleave through the peasant mobs, so they are going to be eating some firepower from the Bretonnian archers. And in the back, Alberic trying to do some disruption, but he does get chased down by the Korngors and is going to be forced to retreat using his Foe Seeker here. So the dreaded PREYTON flying into the trees. Not sure where that thing's going. It'd be funny if it just ran into the corner of the map and AFK the whole time. It's like, yeah, replay with the PREYTON in it, just like AFK in the corner. Big cav flank might come in. I think that the Beastmen are going to need to call in some Senties, maybe some Great Weapon Senties to deal with this, and they do. So the Centaurs with the Great Weapons are going to be on their way out. We do have Korngors guarding all of the archers, so the Ungor Raiders are a little bit obstructed by their own units to an extent, but most of them are shooting here. Malagor the Dark Omen flying in, being a little bit of a trash goblin, just doing what he can, while the Knights of the Realm do. It's so weird seeing Beastmen defending their backfield with halberds. It's like such an Empire Kislev thing. But yeah, they're looking for a way in. Really good Pendulum there, nailing down one of the fire arrows, while Malagor is going to be attacking the other one. And I like seeing Malagor being used in combat, because he has underrated stats, 52, 45, and 400. Like, he can beat down trash units all day. So back here, we do see the Knights of the Realm trying to get in there, but the Centaurs do get a flank charge on them, and Pope Patty in a little bit of danger here, as the dreaded PREYTON is coming in to end his career. And it looks like there's going to be a response from Alberic. He does use the Trident and Manon to splash those filthy, unwashed Beastmen, and maybe get a break on them. We'll have to see. But the PREYTON able to do some decent anti-large attacks and help break those Knights of the Realm, while the Beastmen still trying to push through in the front, but it looks like they're petering out a little bit here. Ungor Spearman herds running out of steam, and the Bretonnians starting to make their ground back. Meanwhile, on the flanks, Spearmen chasing and pushing some of the Bretonnians back into the woods. But looking at the overall situation, Objective 3 belongs to the Beastmen. Objective 1 to the Beastmen as well. Objective 2 still being held by Bretonnia. Value trading favors Zatern a little bit. He did just get a big win, doing a lot of damage against Alberic and also punishing some of the Knights of the Realm. But more Knights Errant coming in. Probably going to have a bad time versus Senties, as well as the PREYTON. And how cool is it? What if the PREYTON became meta in this matchup, dude? Truly forbidden. And yeah, now it's hunting Alberic and getting a big amount of damage right there. That thing actually hits hard, man. And let's see what it's got cooking. Overall anti-large bonus is plus 20. That is not a small anti-large bonus. Yeah, so the Halberd Corps doing very good. The Bretonnian Knights seem to be struggling with it. There's no Fae Enchantress. Sometimes you see her in this matchup. I'm a big fan of Fae here. Because of the Mortis Engine Drain and the Chalice of Potions, she can do some good work. Granted, she could potentially get bullied by these monsters, so hard to say. And Alberic is just also so good. He's amazing in this matchup too. Both are very viable choices. Knights Errant battling versus the Centaur Grey Opens, who do have very low melee defense, only 23. But the Praeton's going to come in and probably guarantee they win that fight. So here comes the Dread Beast. We haven't seen its ability getting used, the all-encompassing rage or whatever it's called, or the evil hatred rage. I don't know, something along those lines. The damage reflection, but ultimately probably not worth it. Another unit of Cav coming in. Knights of the Realm going to be trying to break through the Centaurs, and the Praeton may be going to help anchor that position. We will have to see. Meanwhile, if we look over on Objective 2, the Beastmen onslaught was repelled. The Korngors and the Koroks Manrippers are going to be retreating. The last vestiges of the Beastmen push are repelled there, and now the real epicenter of combat is taking place over here on the eastern side of the battlefield, as the Praeton and the Korngors really dominate these fights. We do see Pope Patty sending in wave and wave of these Cav units, but they're just being mulched by the Korngors. And the Praeton, no way, is the Praeton actually going to carry a game? That is insane. I guess only 800 value, but it is still a menace. It is still a menace. Ungor Raiders coming in, Korngors, as well as the more Centaurs with Great Opens coming in to try and contest the mobility here, while the Ungabunga Raiders going to be shooting where they can. Malagor the Dark Omen flying around the skies, being a Dark Omen, being extra evil and scary. And looking at Collins for both players, so it looks like they're banking some supplies. That turn sitting at 800, and I believe another Cav unit which is called in for Bretonnia. Let's go ahead and look in the back here. Yes, we do see some Knights of the Realm being summoned in from the deeps. Centaurs with Great Opens having a bit of a tricksy fight, but able to win against the Tattered Knights of the Realm. The Damsel trying to heal through it. Flock of Doom activated, and the Praeton, oh, please use the ability. I don't think I've ever seen it used. I mean, it's probably just terrible, but it does lower its melee defense, I think, but it makes it do damage reflections. Maybe it's good against, like, crappy units instead of, like, actually, you wouldn't want to use it in a duel versus Alberic, obviously, I don't think. And yes, Knights of the Realm getting some support. Damsel does get crumped a little bit, but Malagor the Dark Omen may be overextended in a bit of a precarious position. As we look here, we see the Bretonnians breaking through the Beastmen overextension. As Malagor dives in, Praeton going to be coming in trying to salvage this situation. Malagor needs to escape. This could be, honestly, a turning moment where Bretonnia gets back in the game if this goes south for the Beast there. Looking elsewhere, the Footsquires and the Battle Pilgrims pushing up, making some good ground here. Maybe going to be able to threaten this objective. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But back here, the more important fight is underway as Malagor continues to get karate chopped. Nice anti-large attacks coming in. Malagor is infantry size, so the anti-large bonus of Alberic doesn't matter, but 57 melee attack is 57 melee attack. 20 bucks is 20 bucks. Praeton engaged here, attacking into these various units, and maybe has eclipsed 1,000 value. We'll have to see. And the Beastmen are going to be calling in the Centaurs with Great Opens, as well as some more Korngors. They know they need to salvage this fight here. It's looking real tough. But Beastmen do have the double cap and are, doing okay on points. Taking a look at that turn. He's at 800 against 379. And look at that. Nice attack on Alberic. The Centaurs, even though they're not anti-large, they'll have a big charge bonus, and when they pile in, high AP values can definitely drag down big SEs. And the Praeton using the all-consuming hatred. All right, he's pissed. I don't know if it actually does anything, but he's at 1,300 value, so hey, what's not to love? Alberic retreating into the trees, Beastmen calling in more Korngors. They're going to need to reinforce their backpoint. Footsquires will defeat Korngors in combat most likely. They are a anti-infantry unit. Korngors are anti-large. And yeah, they won't trade super effectively there. But the Beastmen have a little bit of pressure back here. There's a couple Ungors going to be fighting it out. Centaur's going to be coming around the flank. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a knockdown, drag-out game. But the Praeton has not heard any bell whatsoever, sitting at 1,300 value still. While the forces of Bretonnia are still kind of stuffed back. They're making some progress out of the out of their spawn zone here and moving up. They're just having just a little bit of trouble, progressing to that contested objective here. But Grail Knights maybe going to be just what the Doctor ordered. I don't know if they had the right charge order, but if they did, they're going to fold the hell out of these Centaurs with Grail Weapons. I think they were charging the wrong unit, the Praeton, so their charge was a little bit fumbled there. And now they're starting to lose this fight because of the fact that there are Korngors here and a Praeton and Centaurs with Grail Weapons. They, of course, fold up the Centaurs, which was to be expected, but the Grail Knights need to escape there and get away from that Praeton as well as that halberd position. Back here, oh man, the Beastmen actually counter-pushing with some Centaurs, and peasants don't really have a lot of capture weight. The Bretonnians moved a lot of their army off here, didn't leave a whole lot in defense, and they're going to go kind of all in to try and get objective 3. The problem is that Gore Herds are really good at killing Bretonnian infantry. Dual weapon, 40 weapon strength, bonus versus infantry, they will trade very well into Footsquires. Footsquires only have 26 melee defense. Granted, Footsquires will do well back, but yeah, it's going to be a messy fight for them. And I think the Beastmen win this fight. They have objective 2, and now they have the Bretonnians triple capped. So the Praeton finally defeated. sent back at 1500 value, and the Grail Knight's going to be surging forth to contest this point. Bretonnia's going to need to get a triple cap, though, obviously. They have been on the back foot for a long time, but looking at value trading, pretty even. Pope Patty is at 10,000, 11,000 for Zeturn, with healing included, I believe. I think there's been some regrowth, although the Damsel did die a long time ago. Probably pretty even game on value overall, but the Beastmen are advantaged in the status quo, right? Oh, Dad didn't hear no bell. Here comes the Preyton moving back in across the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be moving in to attack into ye old Alberic. All right, there you go. Centaurs with Grey Opens are getting it. And looking over here at Objective 2, we do have Ungor Spearman Herd and Spearman Herd gathering up on this point. And ladies and gentlemen, man, I don't know, looking a little bit tough for Bretonnia. The fact that Alberic is so low, although we did see the Dark Omen get karate chopped. Zeturn should probably save up for a resummon on the Dark Omen and bring him back into the battle. He probably still has, like, at least 20 wins of magic, probably like 3 or 4 Flock of Dooms. So I think that would be worth it for punishing. And honestly, he could win on just one objective right now. He could just sit on objective 3 and is still milking points with his milk cows over here off of objective number 2. Halberd's going to be coming up, and it looks like the Bretonnian Knights, I think there's some in there. Yeah, it looks like a little core of Knights of the Realm. Going to be quite good. Grail Knights should just attack the Preyton. They'll win that fight. The Preyton is very, very low. Although with the Centaur Great Opening coming, probably wise to retreat. That makes some sense. All right, guys, getting close. Zeturn is clearly saving up for the Dark Omen. Alberic is going to be getting another regrowth, so the Wizard for the Bretonnians has been resummoned. So that is going to be going down here. A fair amount of healing. Should be active. Centaur is pulling back here, and the Beastmen are just like, come at me, bro. I'm comfortable with this. And he's still getting 2 victory tickets, even to this moment. That's crazy. He's been farming that objective 2 for so freaking long. All right, so here comes the Helm's Deep attempt. The Dark Omen returns in the time of his people's need. He will have something wicked comes his way. It might seem small, but -4 leadership on units that are very, very poor leadership in general, based on these guys. 50, for example, it can make the difference in a big old blob fight, right? But hell, man, that's a lot of units. We got the Grail Knights, 2 Knights of the Realm. The Bretonnians looking to be resurgent here a little bit in this battle. And for the Beast, they just need to summon Corngors. Like, Corngor maxing. Just get like 50 of them on this objective and say, come at me. Unfortunately for him, those Corngors are already on the field and they're a little bit damaged, so he might not have any more to summon in. It's going to be tough, man. Bretonnia might be able to overwhelm him here. If Alberic has a Trident ability too, for the -16 leadership penalty down the pipe, he could maybe bunker bust this position. It's going to be real tight, man. Great game so far by these 2 mighty champions. It's been a fun one seeing the Preyton in play too. Gotta love it. And it still has a little bit to give. 1,500 value. I think it costs more than that. The Preyton, I remember, is like a disgustingly overcosted monster. It did get a cost reduction, I think, once in the early build. Probably could use another one, to be honest. Just a little bit. A little something, something. Or make its ability do, like, something, like, not get rid of, I don't know, that losing the melee defense on the ability is just so janky. All right, guys, the onslaught is here. The Preyton's going to be diving in to try and bully Alberic. It does, I believe, do poison damage, which is nice. Centaurs circling around the flanks while Centaurs with Great Weapons ambush out. Beautiful Flock of Doom. So nice. Grail Knight's going to be charging in, and it looks like the Beastmen are going to be countercharging, and both sides going to be taking big damage, but will favor the Grail Knights. So you look at that damage. They're getting melted. But the Preyton is there helping the homies out. Meanwhile, Corngor's trying to hold the objective in the process of flipping, but another Centaur is going to be coming in to buffer that out. Might be able to defeat the Grail Knights with the Preyton support and the Corngors. Looking at the capture weight, Beastmen do restabilize it, while another unit of Knights of the Realm flank around the outside, crushing over those Ungor Raiders. And the Corngors in the front holding well with Malagor the Dark Omen helping out. I think the Bretonnians probably need to take the fight to the objective rather than fighting on the flank, although I guess they don't have too much of a choice here. They kind of just have to stick it out. And yeah, I think they realize this. So the Cav are going to be pulling back in, and the capture weight does start to flip. There's one Corngor still fighting there. Alberic a little bit surrounded here. The Beastmen of the Preyton going to be moving in. Grail Relic very, very good right here, guys, giving a big leadership buff to the Bretonnians. And currently we're at 1445 points. It is a little bit less than a minute the Beastmen need to hold. And do the Beastmen have the tools to get this? Calling into the back, we see some Ungors and also some Centaurs with the Grapens being called out. But that objective is flipping. Granted, if he's able to get it back at any point, like he's not under a huge time crunch, he's so close to winning that, the Bretonnians will need to hold it the rest of the game, basically. And it looks like the Beastmen do start to win the grind off the objective because of the Preyton, probably, right? Yeah, let's go. Centaurs with Great Weapons also getting the job done. And, ooh, man, the Bretonnians are running out of gas here a little bit, guys. As those units do get pushed off, the Beastmen might be able to just A-move onto the objective or just spam click. There is no A-move in this game. And it looks like the capture weight does come back to the Beastmen. I think he clutches it with the last stand. The Preyton holds the line, baby. Getting it done. Knights Errant coming in. And guys, that is going to be all she mooed, as there's no way Bretonnia is going to be able to get this. Alberic running with his tail tucked in between his legs in the face of the dread Preyton. Oh, look at this glorious haggard creature. It's so ridiculous looking. Yeah, fun game though. Really, really cool match. I mean, mistakes on both sides, but great successes on both sides as well. It was a very, very fun one, and I loved seeing the PREYTON getting used. That was great fun, guys. Good Centaur, great open play. Those guys were money this game. And for Bretonnia, they held the push well, but they couldn't just get that momentum. And losing their caster early, I think, also set them back a little bit. A couple little things here and there. All right, guys, GG, well played. See you around, and that is going to be it for tonight.